This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Chris and Ian's awesome podcast. It's a very exciting episode. Last week we got around like 10,000 views. Um, that was a big one. We're trying we're trying to improve weekly. Hopefully we get to like 50,000 views this podcast. I've got a lot of comments. A lot of people want to be a guest speaker on the show. Coming up, we'll have a lot more guest speakers. We have an interesting guest today. Um, you know, we'll have a lot of good conversations today, and I'm excited. Anything you want to add, Ian?
No, I think you kind of covered it all. We're very excited to be back. Thank you to our 11 subscribers now. You got in at the first opportunity, and you will be rewarded
Mm,
when we blow up. So thank you very much.
yeah, good investment to join now while we're still building this, but we're going to the moon. So, anyways. Um, First off, I want to give some shout outs to some of our supporters. We had a lot of people reach out, saying our last podcast like changed their lives. I just want to give a couple shout outs. First, I want to shout out Marina, one of our biggest supporters. She commented on the first podcast. We love that support, Marina. We appreciate it. Claps for Marina. Thank you, thank you. Another shout out. I want to give a shout out to my friend Pepe, my other friend, Cooter. I also want to shout out my friend Cam, and I also want to shout out Taya. It was her birthday, so that's
Happy
cool, I guess.
birthday! Happy birthday, Taya.
Happy birthday,
Yes,
Teo.
yes. You're not supposed to talk yet. We had a we. Well, anyways, Taya turned 20. Hopefully she did something fun. She was last time I talked to her, she was taking a test, so hopefully she had a good weekend. Haven't spoken to her since. Um, I also want to give a big shout out to Jade, one of my good friends, Jade. She just won her election. She's the vice president of the student body at Florida now. Super exciting stuff. Congrats to her. Big claps. And then, another big shout out I want to give a shout out to Mr. Field. He's always been cooking up really good food. I appreciate it. His cookies are really good. And yeah, and Fajita Night has always been my favorite. And anyways, I think that leads great into our special guest this week. It's not Mr. Field, unfortunately, but we got the next best thing. We got Nate Field, his son.
Hey guys, was that your elaborate intro, Chris?
Yeah, that was my elaborate intro. I'm kind of, I had this all planned out. So yeah, that's exactly what I was going for.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, Ian, how about you share some things about Nate? What should the people know about Nate?
Yeah, Nate's great. Um, we've known him since freshman year. He moved to our town, our high school then. So pretty new addition to Haddonfield, New Jersey, but I would say a great addition. Um, yeah, Nate's kind of like your all around guy. I think last week we talked about how he's really a jack of all trades. Really just
Yeah, he's
cooking.
like mid at everything.
That's not what that means.
That's kind of where we are going last podcast, if you kind of missed. But
I
anyways,
don't know, Chris. You were coming after our high jump days in the group chat today.
we'll talk about those. We'll be bringing that up. We have a lot of stories to share on that. I want to add a couple things about Nate. I kind of took Nate in, as
What?
a young boy. He was, kind of struggling to find his footing at Haddonfield. Um, what's so funny, Ian? Why are we laughing? Nate didn't have a lot of friends, and I went out of my way, and I was like, because I had a lot of friends and I was really popular in high school. Why are you laughing? What is funny? The people I'm trying to give background to people that don't understand. Not ev yeah, I have a big follower base, and they don't necessarily know how I was like in high school, so I gotta like give that background info.
Yeah, yeah, for
Anyways,
sure.
so I had a lot of friends, but you can always have more friends. I saw this kid sitting by himself. He kind of got bullied. Um, so I kind of took him under my wing. At first he didn't like me. We kind of formed that bond. Um, it's exciting. It adds a new aspect of my life. In my life, I didn't have a lot of Jewish friends before Nate. Now
Or
I joined
any.
the, well, but it's a great addition. I can go to all the Jewish holidays now. So I
Yep.
get to celebrate Hanukkah now.
Hmm.
Um, I also, yeah, I was in the Jewish club. We got to go to DC. That was a fun trip.
The Jewish American
Jewish
Cultural Club.
American Culture Club,
Yeah, for
Chris.
anybody watching, yeah, the Jewish American Cultural Club.
Okay, yeah, that. Anyways, yeah. So,
If I
uh,
believe correctly, you wore a Miles Sanders jersey to the Holocaust Museum.
for context, it was the day before the Eagles Super Bowl. Or two
No, it
days
wasn't.
before. Two
It
days
was
before. Yes, it was.
okay, 2 days before maybe.
2 days before. We went on Friday. The game was Sunday, and they lost to the Chiefs that year. So
I
I was
believe
I was excited.
I believe the day after that we went to the Poconos.
Oh, do we actually? Oh, we
Yeah,
gotta spread some lore. We gotta spread some lore about that, Nate.
yeah, for sure.
There's a lot to talk about with Nate. A lot of memories. Just a few things about Nate. Also want to add. He was the director of Riz Wars, one of our biggest films. That really put us on the map as a group of friends.
Yep, highly acclaimed.
Um, he also was a track star. Um, you know, I always beat him, but he tried his best, and we had some fun times. What else? Nate, he was a great third string JV soccer goalie.
That's not what
Uh,
I was.
and what else? I mean, he's also he's on our intramural basketball team, yeah, and he consi consistently was okay.
Yeah, I would describe my experience as okay. My performance on the basketball team.
Anyways, that's all a side story. But anyways, so Nate is a sophomore at the University of Florida. You're a computer science major, Nate,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
And smart guy. He's also in a frat. You know, um, so maybe we can add some things about that. Frat life. He's kind of cool. He's not really douchey like Julian, but he's still cool to some extent. Um, but like before we
Thanks.
get into it, should we do our weekly updates? You think, Ian?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
so. I think so.
Okay, okay. Who wants to start, Ian? You want to start, Ian?
We'll start with Ian.
Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
first. Maybe get like some of the less exciting stuff out of the way. Yeah, so I mean, I had a great week. By my standards, most weeks are great weeks, but just for some like highlights, I got a haircut, obviously. Wasn't really thrilled with it, but
Hey,
a
let me
day.
call it in. You're beautiful.
Oh,
You
thanks,
know,
Chris.
your hair is wonderful, and you should admire that, right, Nate?
I agree. Ian, when you got to the barber shop, just a quick question. What did you ask for?
First correction, didn't go to the barber shop, went to the salon and
Salon.
No, you're
in
not.
the basement of our student center, actually.
Oh, what a,
Oh.
what a great option. I couldn't see
We
anything going wrong with that.
we have
Yeah.
one of those too. We have one of those too. We have the Wrights Barber Shop. If you go to the basement of our student center, there's a barber shop as well. I believe that it's a common fantasy football punishment to get your hair cut there. So just
Yeah.
pointing that out.
Well, like I was saying, wasn't thrilled with it, but a day in, it's growing on me a little bit. I think a week from now, I'll be pretty happy with it. It was time to get a cut. Didn't really
Ian,
have high expectations, but
Ian, do you remember when we told you asked like what you're gonna do with your hair and we're like, let it grow out, like kind of with the like get the flow going? Like what happened to the flow? You just chopped it
I
all off.
grew it out. I grew it out last year. I literally grew it out for an entire year, and
Then you should have gotten a mullet.
there's
Yeah.
nothing to do with it. I didn't know how to take care of it. It's too much hair for me.
Any
Didn't
other
wanna didn't
inputs, Ian?
wanna didn't want to beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, continuing with my updates. I've been training for a half marathon, looking to run its second week of April. So this week was pretty good. I got 5 runs in, got a long run of 6 miles. So building that up, trying to get myself ready. Um,
Do you
yeah,
have
and
a
then
goal? Do you have a goal finishing time in mind?
not really. I mean, I'd love to go like sub 10 faster if I can, but as long
Per
as I
mile.
finish, yeah. And then yeah, just some basic stuff, some stuff within our dorm. We do Sunday New York Times crossword sessions. Yeah, so those are pretty fun. They are fun. Stop giving me that look. They're fun. And then, yeah, I was just in the research lab, tutoring a high school student as well, which was fun. So, good stuff this week.
Wow,
Who who
that was
won the crossword?
Oh, that's
yeah.
not like we screencast it,
Mm.
and then we do it as like a group.
Is that the kind of thing where like maybe like you put the crossword up, the boys get some beers going and they like solve the crossword, or it's a little more like
No, we
the
do
boys,
this.
Nate, drinking alcohol under the age of 21 is actually illegal.
Yeah, this
If you didn't know
podcast
that.
unfortunately cannot support any of those activities. But no, this is an activity. So my dorm, we have a rector, and then we have assistant rectors, and so one of our assistant rectors is a priest in formation, so he runs it. So no, there's no consumption of alcohol while we do it.
is rector like the subjunctive version of rectum?
I don't think so. No, as far as I'm aware, it is not.
Good questions, Nate. I think I also had that question. I'm sure a lot of our audience had questions like that as well. So it's good to clarify these type of things.
Oh yeah, it's an important note just to cut in there. If you have any questions at all about the podcast, anything you want us to talk about, anything at all, just drop it in the comment section. I promise we do read all of them. So yeah.
Yeah, there's so many to go through, but me and Ian double team it, from both sides.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
works out
double team
well.
it. You double team it from both sides.
Yeah, I mean that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we switch sides, like if we want to get a different perspective, we'll switch sides. But
Yeah, sounds good. Also, side note to that, also follow Ian's Instagram page at Inspirational Penguins
that's not
on
my
Instagram.
Instagram page. It's not my Instagram page, but you can give it a follow.
Yeah, give it a follow. Ian gives motivational content. That's where we're posting our like weekly updates that like a new podcast is coming out. So check the stories. We'll have some hints and special leaks there. So like definitely give that a follow. Also, if you need some motivational content, it's great. Anyways, moving on. I'll dive a little into my week. Um, Pretty good week, I'd say. I've been very busy, on the most part. Yesterday I was up, you know, 5 a.m. for a rugby tournament. We went to Lexington, played at VMI, and we went undefeated on the day, won the tournament again. So yeah, we're undefeated right now in the regular season so far. So looking good with that. Coming up, we have a qualifying tournament here in a couple weeks, so I'm excited for that. On top of that, um, you know, sad news, but our intramural basketball team lost in the semifinals against club basketball. I was really disappointed. You know, tough one, tough loss. But yeah, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna have some roster changes going on. For next season. I've heard in rumors that I'm getting a big contract extension because I was averaging around 25, 10, and 7, I believe.
All right. I'm
What
not
what
I'm
what?
not so sure about that one, but
You know, Stat check it. It's online. You can find it. Um. Anyways, yeah. So good week. Pretty busy week. Had a couple exams. Trying to grind through. This week coming up's gonna be pretty busy. Uh, but I'm excited for having a spring break. Having that time off. And yeah, okay, ready to get into it. Yeah. Anything you want to share, Nate?
about my week, sure. Um, well, I had a lot of very cool meetings this week. Um, for my job, we had a meeting with one of the big donors for the engineering college, which was super interesting. He gave some insights on the companies that he started and exited with, some advice for us, so that was good. Um, aside from that, it was election week at UF. You gave the shout out to Jade. I worked on the campaign a bunch this week, and then we celebrated the big win. So that was
Mm.
cool.
How'd you celebrate? What'd you guys do?
Um,
They just hug out.
yeah, we
That's great.
we like to win, and then like um maybe like eat Wawa mozzarella sticks in the park.
I like it.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, aside from that, some busy with some schoolwork this week, but all other than that, all good. And looking forward to spring break in the next couple weeks. So yeah.
Yeah, good. Some good updates there. Moving on, I just wanna. I think we should move into our our friend shout outs or our friend updates, I should say. Um, I really only have one big main one this week. I don't know about you guys, but want to give a shout out, y'all. I'll give a little screen share here, some screen share action. But, I just want to shout out my boy Julian. He's looking great. He's having a fun time. Sigma Chi is awesome. So it's great to see him in such great shape. He's having a great time. He's looking really healthy, and overall,
Now, is this picture from his trip to Maine?
yes, that picture was from his trip to Maine. He was really last time I talked to him, he's really focusing on that inner enhancing that douchey frat guy vibe. Kind of
Okay.
yeah. So something I've been working on is kind of get my nonchalant douchebag vibe. So I kind of take after him a lot in that regard. So
What
it
is
was
he?
great
What
to see
is
that.
just for the viewers out there? What has he taught you about how to be nonchalant and douchey?
I mean, essentially, he just does whatever he wants. Kind of that I'll do whatever I want attitude. I'm not gonna listen to my haters. I'm not gonna let anyone get in my head. I'm just gonna be me, my authentic self, and I'm gonna be true to my own beliefs. And I'm gonna be a little bit mysterious. I don't want people to know everything I'm doing, but I also want to be popular and cause some scenes so people know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds pretty cool to me, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like
Agree.
to know that person. Like, it's just me.
Yeah, maybe you could be a special guest coming up. Who knows?
Oh, I
Like I
think the
said.
viewers would love that one.
Oh yeah, there'd be a lot of conversations, interesting conversations in that pod. But yeah, any other
So
updates?
so Julian was not in Lexington when you were there this weekend or this week.
No, he was not. Sometimes people don't like to hang out with me. I guess. I sent the group hangout and link. But he didn't RSVP. He was busy doing his frat stuff in Maine. So unfortunately, I didn't
Yep.
get to see him this weekend. But hopefully I'll make the trip out soon enough and we can hang out. Maybe get some mentoring going on. So yeah.
Would you say that he would make a good mentor for the Penguin program?
In some regards, yeah, I think, some of the goals of the Penguin program, according to our Instagram. Ian,
Ian's shaking
yeah,
his head now.
Ian, why are you shaking your head?
I think yeah, we're looking for somebody very specific, I think, for that specific program. There might be another one that we could develop. I don't think Julian's really interested though. I mean, if he was, I think we might be able to figure something out. But yeah, I think we're really looking for people who want to do it. And I just don't think he's got that passion for it.
So
Feels like your head.
would you describe his identity to fit more of maybe like the Walrus program per se?
No, I don't know if I'd say that. Maybe um, maybe the shark program. Like he's cool. Sharks are cool, right? But
Walruses are cool. Are you saying they're not cool?
no,
I
walruses
like
are cool.
walruses.
Yeah, it's different kinds of cool. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I don't want to leave kind of the same thing. I didn't want anybody to think we were trashing Nate last week. Let's give Julian some good shout outs. Julian's a great guy. Yeah, he's awesome. We love him. Um, yeah, he's really great. Like I think one of the great things about Julian is he's very great at skits. Acting like a caricature sometimes of maybe some of these quote unquote douchey characters. But yeah, Julian, I would say is great overall. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Big shout out for Julian. Big ups for him.
Hmm. Sorry, I'm eating my acai bowl. It's very good. Had to shout that out. But yeah. I think yeah, we'll definitely get Julian on at some point. Looking at this week, do we have any other updates on any of our other friends, that you want to add?
Um,
Not that I know of.
I haven't heard from many of them besides the interactions in the group chat. It was Taya's birthday. I don't think I wished her a happy birthday. Um,
That's okay. That's okay.
yeah, Taya, if you're out there, happy birthday, belated.
Nice.
Um, who else? Mora just posted a story from it appears to be the keg room of PJ's.
I don't know what's up with her.
I don't know
You know,
either.
she was. I sung her praises last week. Probably shouldn't have done that because I feel like there was a little bit of fall off this week, honestly.
Have you
You know,
have you spoken to her this week?
We actually did.
no,
Yeah,
not 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 to.
we had a conversation with her together Monday night. She called us. Um, yeah, she seems to be doing really well, I would say. Um, she definitely overshared some stuff that I really didn't want to hear.
Oh,
Yeah, but I think overall she's doing
that was
well.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
More if you're listening, that was crazy. Please do not ever do that again. That made me very uncomfortable. I will not comment any more information on that.
I don't want to hear.
Yeah, I'm
You
pretty
don't want to
sure. I'm
know.
pretty sure we get thrown off YouTube if we shared what she told
Yeah,
us.
I,
Yeah, it's pretty
I think we would.
disgusting
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
Ian did not approve.
No.
Has anyone had any update on Lorelai's break-in? Do we know is the culprit going to prison? Was he Captain Underpants? I'm just kind of curious.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I haven't heard. I haven't heard any updates. My understanding, maybe he got away. You know, maybe he broke bail. I don't know. So no updates, but we'll be digging into that hopefully next episode. That hopefully we'll have a good update for you guys. Yeah.
All right, should we move into maybe some like questions for Nate?
Yeah, let's dive into some questions. What do you have, Ian? Shoot them away.
All right, yeah. So just like for the viewers, kind of like some context on why we're doing this. We want to get guests on the show, right, who have diverse experiences, unique perspectives, and we just want to pick their brains, try to get some good information for you, for ourselves. Um, so at least some of the questions that I have are really just trying to get at what Nate's all about, what he specifically has experienced, and what he might be able to share. So just having that context, kind of the first one that I'll ask you is about relationships in general. I would say you're very good at forming good relationships. You came to Haddonfield as a freshman. You were able to make a lot of good friends, connect with a lot of people. You're in a frat, which is very relation based. You seem to do well with the ladies, from what I hear around town. But overall, like I would say, you're a very good relationship guy. I'm just curious, how do you look at relationships? What are your strategies? How do you treat them in your life? How do you prioritize them? Kind of pick and choose whatever you want to talk about. But what do you think about relationships? Tell me, Nate.
Well, that's a fantastic question, Ian. Um, I would say that I wouldn't consider myself by any means to be a professional at relationships. However, I would say that they are like in terms of sort of the pillars that I sort of abide by in terms of what I value in my life, they're definitely towards the top. Um, I sort of value putting time towards my relationships above time for honestly almost anything else. I think it's important to sort of maintain those. Um, Regardless of what the purpose of the relationship is for, whether it's for like your personal life, your professional life. Um, I just think that it's relationships that will carry you farther, um, even farther than anything that I think that you can, obviously like what you do in the classroom and the work that you put in like matters a lot. But at the end of the day, it's about your ability to sort of connect with others and to create community. Um, to sort of build further off of that, I think that, throughout my time in high school, um, I had different relationships with lots of different people within our high school community. Some good, some bad, you know, some okay, some however you wanna put it. Um, but I think that it's sort of that ability to sort of jump into a new community, whether it be a new high school, a new college, a new club on campus, and sort of like make your name heard, make yourself a familiar face is never a bad thing.
Awesome. Thank you, Nate.
Yep.
Chris, you wanna go?
Yeah, no, that was a great question. I kind of have like a similar question. I was just piggyback right off that. You know, Nate, if you had to pick one thing, you know, what's your favorite food?
Um, well, I'm sure you know me, Chris. Like I'm not necessarily a picky eater by any means, and I'm very adventurous when it comes to food. I always want to, try the new restaurant. I'm always on Yelp on our trips, as you know. I'm a very avid Yelp user.
Mhm.
Um, but in terms of a favorite food, well, I guess I'd have to give a shout out um to just my dad's cooking in general. I don't know if I
Mm.
have a favorite a specific favorite meal or not, but there's a lot of options that are up there.
No, I completely agree. That's why I gave Mr. Field a shout out in the beginning. Yeah, great, excellent food. Um, just one thing you just mentioned was that, our trip, Nate was cooking up some food. Um,
Mm,
you know, between Nate and I, usually we're the ones to organize such trips, we're more of the ones in charge. Um, Take me a little behind your mindset. Like when you're planning these trips, like what are you thinking about? How do you, you know, balance it out? Maybe I'm more like conservative approach or more like, aggressive, I want like the higher end stuff. Like how do you balance that out to make like an ideal trip for 'em?
well, I think that our balance comes in the form of, I'm always seeking the more ambitious side, and you're kind of dialing me back in.
Mm,
That's often kind of how it goes. Not that anything I throw out there is not necessarily super, super extravagant, but you help me make some of the more budgetary decisions, I would say.
mm,
Um, but I guess there's a lot that goes into how we plan and coordinate our friend group excursions. Um, it's this previous one, this winter break, for the viewers at home. We all went to Lake Placid in upstate New York, and the idea for that trip came about when I was studying for an exam. I wanted to procrastinate and plan a trip, so that's what I did, and I came up with the idea with Lake Placid. I thought it would fit sort of the vibe of last year, but take it to sort of a new level with the added component of skiing, um, of the Olympic Center and other fun activities that we had going on. Um, but yeah, planning trips is always fun. Sometimes you also got to consider the friend group dynamic at the time. We have a friend group that's ever changing in terms of its
mm.
dynamic across the board. So it's important to sort of keep in mind the status of everyone's whether they're come on the trip, whether they're busy, and where they stand you know with the rest of the group.
Yeah, that was very insightful, and I agree on a lot of those ideas, Nate. Um, you know, Changing topics. Nate, you were a big high jumper in high school. We kind of did that together. That was like our thing. Um, you know, for all, we have a lot of a big portion of our viewership is younger high jumpers that, need more coaching per se, and
Yeah.
and if you had to give them like just a quick piece of advice, for them at home, but like these aspiring high jumpers, what would you give them, Nate?
Well, listen. I mean, Chris, you know it better than anyone. We got the best in the business with Coach Mackinson there. Um, yeah, really a world class coach. Who taught us the ropes of how to high jump. Um, I'd say you got to get out there with your bungee, especially the bungee is
Mm,
particularly helpful. Um, and then get yourself a guy like Coach Mackinson to sort of stand out there with you and count the steps off. You need someone yelling it in your ear the whole time, like boom boom, with the whole double clap. Um,
yeah.
yeah. Um, and then beyond that, I'd say get yourself a high jumping partner like Chris. you can't do it. You can't do it without your best friend by your side. So
Yeah.
it's a tough job mentally, physically. It's quite
Yeah. Okay,
exhausting.
not. Yeah, I appreciate that. Not just cut you off, but I have some some breaking news. Ian, who is behind you right now?
It's just my roommate.
Can we get a guest appearance?
Yeah. Can we get a guest appearance?
Elijah, you want to come say hi to some of my friends? You want to say hi to some of my friends? All right.
What's up?
He can't
Hello.
hear. He can't hear you.
Oh, he can't hear us.
Can you tell him he's on the
Um.
podcast?
Okay. He said bye.
Oh, cool.
Oh, seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, Chris. I
Um.
think he said he doesn't really like your hair though.
My hair?
I'm
Does
just
he want
kidding.
to fight?
I'm just kidding.
Does he want to fight like legitimately? Like what did I do to him?
I'm just
Ian, like
messing.
why? Ian, why would he say that?
I don't know, bro.
No, I have so many haters right now, And I love the hate, I think one of the things me and Nate also do really well together is we feed off that hate. We love getting hate. You know, I know like one of the biggest things I did, especially when we were high jumping together, is I always hated on Nate. I always loved when he failed, seeing him slam into the bar, was awesome for me because it fueled me to do even better. You know.
If I for the viewers out there who might be wondering, who's better, Chris or Nate at high jump? Ian, what would you say on that matter?
Um, I think in most categories, statistically, probably it would be Chris. But
I would hesitate to give that answer because Ian, I don't know if you have the background, but me and Chris
Well,
actually have the exact same personal record in the high jump. So
I also want to bring up, I perform my best in high stake experience or high stakes, I was able to medal at states, with the PR jump, Nate
yeah,
never medaled anywhere.
no, I
So,
medaled. I actually have a third place medal from the Camden County Invitational or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
I also have
Okay.
one. I also have one from the Haddonfield Invitational.
Good for you, Nate.
Yeah.
I envy those, but
Mhm.
you know,
We
I-
can count our wins and losses.
yeah, we can, and we can agree to disagree. I think that's one of the things you gotta be able to do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Ian, anything else you want to ask Nate?
yeah, I do have one more question actually. So Nate, you went to Germany last summer. You had a great time there. I'm just wondering if you could like share a little bit about your abroad experience. Do you recommend it, for people to go abroad? What were some of the things you learned from your time there? Just want to like kind of share about that.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend going abroad. I know you're going to London this upcoming summer. Um, it's a great time. I would say make the most of the time that you have outside of the classroom. Obviously like your classroom experiences are valuable. And I had a lot of great yes, Chris.
Yeah, so I just had to raise my hand there. I actually have a really big announcement. Um, for the fall of the 2025 academic year, I'll be studying abroad in Copenhagen. I haven't told
Wow.
anyone that, but I thought I'd let you guys know. So,
It's
you know,
awesome.
big announcement, yeah.
Congrats. Does that mean that
Thank you.
will we be seeing you at Thanksgiving or no?
That's currently undetermined, but we'll see. Maybe you guys could come out to Copenhagen. You're always welcome,
Hmm.
if Ian wants to come. Ian, if you finish your London, you're always welcome to stop by. Um,
When do you leave for Copenhagen?
Middle of August, I think. Still have to figure out the details, but yeah, I might try to go a little earlier, try to go around Spain, visit some of my friends there, and then head up to Copenhagen. But yeah, excited, very excited for that.
It's awesome.
That is awesome. Where was I in my question? What was that? Oh, I was talking about abroad. Um, yeah, definitely travel the most that you possibly can. Like go around Europe as much as possible. If that's where you're abroad. Um, you'll meet so many ridiculous characters throughout your time. Like there's just so many like random people that we hung out with in Europe that I like we'll never ever see again. But actually, some of them I did see again. Like for example, like we had like this like Austrian guy who went to bars with us in Belgium and Amsterdam, and then he showed up at my fraternity house in the fall, which is pretty awesome.
Thanks, Nate. That's awesome. That's great. Chris, you got anything else?
You know,
I guess that means it's time to move into our kind of our main topic for
oh,
the
man,
day.
okay.
Um, yeah, well, so we kind of let our guest, right, kind of dictate what the main topic is going to be. So Nate, do you want to tell the people what you've chosen for us to talk about for a short amount of time today?
Yeah, I've chosen to discuss the modern political climate in the United States of America. Um, we're going to be discussing, um, Ian's political views and in extreme detail. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's not what was agreed upon. No, Nate requested that we discuss executive orders.
yeah, yeah. Some of the big ones that have been sort of shaping our country the last couple months.
Yeah. So we're coming to the end of like the WebEx time length. So I'm gonna stop this meeting and then we'll get another one going. So stay tuned for part two.